Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Agents of Chaos Gaming, where order comes to die and chaos reigns. I am Crunch, I've got QB and Scotty with me.
Oh, wow. I don't know. Oh, he is there, okay.
Yes, he is there somewhere. And we are continuing our adventures in Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition. Last time, Nero got kidnapped.
By a statue.
Yes, Nero got basically sucked by a statue, so now what does that mean for us? It means we get to take over as Dante.
Yay!
And much like Nero, he also has a couple of costume options. Super mode. We already explained what those do. He also has this.
What the fuck?
This is Dante basically dressed to look like his daddy.
Oh my god.
The cutscenes with this one on is going to be hilarious. So we're going to start out with his basic costume to start things out.
So was this the first time they ever tried to show who Sparta looked like?
No, they've done that before, where they've had Nero and even Virgil in like Sparta-looking outfits.
Oh look, it's this fucker.
It's the gesture of the series, or of this game.
Is he gonna spank our butts? So that the true that'd be horrible. That'd be what's scary, him or
them graphics.
Judgment Day
I think he might be evil, guys.
Might be.
Then I'm getting a small inkling.
A small inkling? I didn't know this was Splatoon.
Dante and Splatoon. I would be up for that.
Who knows? Maybe they can give him justice on like Smash Brothers.
I don't even know how that would work.
Just Dante going, "Whoopee!"
No, it'd probably just be more like, here's a Dante costume for your inkling.
Don't back up, drama.
And we've got Demon Invasion.
Well, that we've been here before.
Ain't no God coming to save you, sinners.
Especially with all these Mephistos running around.
Hello.
I know, right? And we have a Bianco and Jello.
to deliver us salvation. We must repent and rejoice, for the world has not yet come to an
end. Okay, old man.
That's a solid performance for an old fart like you.
That's nice.
So, I want to point out, this guy opens the Hell Gate, and then, of course, is using his own troops to defeat the enemies that are coming out of it. What is this guy's deal?
Is he trying? I don't.
He's trying to make an enemy for him to fight to keep them believing.
I mean, that's literally the only explanation that makes sense.
If they all died, then they would think, oh wait, were we praying for nothing?
Anyway, so since we now have control of Dante, we have to actually do all of his skills. Now, thankfully, the game actually gives you back all of this Proud Souls that you would normally get, or, I'm sorry, it gives you back all the Proud Souls that you spent as Nero, so that you can reuse them to spec with Dante. And then blue orbs and purple orbs carry over between them. So right now, he only has one sword, which is, of course, Rebellion. And we are going to naturally do the thing that you always do, which is you get yourself Stinger. And then for guns, we actually have both of his pistols, and he starts with a shotgun in this game. This is actually the only one where he decided to bring a shotgun from home. Actually, I should say prior to, up to this point in time. And then we also have all of his styles have returned from DMC3. However, now instead of them gaining experience, you just level them up through, well, buying them, basically. So we're just going to go ahead and just power shoot all these to max. And much like last time, I'm not really going to be showing off too much of Gunslinger and Royal Guard, since I don't really use either of those styles that often. And then, yeah, Trigger Heart just slows down how fast your DC gauge burns. Speed gives you the booster. Get more orbs as the magnet. Enemy steps for jumping off of things. And air hike is the double jump. And that's literally everything for Dante. And since we already did those, maxed those out, there's nothing really to grab there. Actually, no, hold on. Just in case. I don't really plan to use them, but you never know. Alright, so starting out, this mission more or less is, as it says, come to grips with the power of the legendary Devil Hunter. It's a very interesting choice of words, all things considered. Alright, so Dante pretty much controls about the same as he did in DMC3, so if you played that game, you will get to grips with him very quickly. One thing that is different, though, is the fact that now, unlike in DMC3, where you could only have one style equipped at a time, and you had to swap between them at, like, statues or whatever, if you wanted to change mid-mission, you can just do it on the D-pad. So you can literally pick whatever style you want on the fly, which makes stuff like actually using Gunslinger and Royal Guard more viable, especially once you actually get the hang of the gun. Speaking of the guns, they do still have their charge shot functionality. I would say Nero's is definitely better than the guns Dante has when it comes to charge shots, just because of the fact that, like, Nero's has the explosion blast, whereas Dante's is just slightly stronger for a few hits. But yeah, we got Dante. And let me see. Okay, so I just want to make sure that's going the right way. Now, unfortunately, Dante's part of the game is also probably one of the most criticized parts of the game. But first, new enemy. Batter up.
They look fun.
So these guys are known as Mega Scarecrows. Essentially, they are the very big brothers of the regular Scarecrows that we've been slapping around for most of the game. One nasty thing about them is that when they die, they actually flip their blade in the air and they try to drop it on you. So don't keep standing where you were when you kill them. And oh yeah, as same with Nero, Dante gets his Devil Trigger, but this time he's actually, as you can see, this is actually a full body transformation, as it was in DMC 3. And so does the same thing, ups your style, gain, gives you a nice little power boost. So that's Prop Shredder. See? That almost got me. Alright, so you might also notice that we are kind of going backwards through stuff Nero has gone through. As I was mentioning before, this is kind of the part of the game that a lot of people... Oh, come on. A lot of people aren't too thrilled with Dante's section, just because of the fact that you do spend a lot of time backtracking. I want to get that blue orb fragment. Normally it's actually easier to do with Dante, but it's just not working with me for some reason. It's actually one level up right there. There we go.
Sorry, I had to go mute there. My family called me for dinner.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, call me in the middle of recording when I remind them that I'm recording.
I mean,
Yeah, that's the thing. I forgot that's what that does in there. Alright, well, we are currently on a countdown timer right now. We've got 10 minutes to get out of here. This is actually a lot more generous than it sounds. So we'll be out
I
of
thought
here.
you were going to say. I thought you were going to say this is not as generous as it sounds.
No, it's actually plenty generous, all things considered. And now I have frost, so you know, stupid ice blizzard jerk thing.
The thing with how famous Dante would be by now, these demons would just go, yeah, fuck that shit.
I feel like a lot of the demons that we slap around, though, kind of run off of, like, animalistic levels of intelligence, where they just run on instincts more than anything.
payments.
Yeah. Also, I should point out, you can actually skip past that section. So, if you know how to do it correctly with Dante, you can actually hopscotch across that gap and just completely ignore having to do that whole elevator sequence with the frost. Now we're back in this room. And now we have Mephistos. So, unlike Nero, we don't have the ability to just grab their cloaks off with a buster, since, you know, Dante doesn't have the beam in hand. So the fastest way to decloak them is basically slam on them with the shotgun.
Let me hit you with my shotgun.
I believe Ebony and Ivory also work pretty well with that. Just shooting them in general takes their cloaks off.
What you're saying is bang, bang, bang.
Yes. Technically with Nero, shooting them also works really well for cloak removal, but for him it's faster to just do it with his arm. For those who remember last time, Nero left behind the Key of Kronos in this machine. I think we borked it. Key of Kronos. No, it's not gonna ever start moving. It's broken.
I mean, well, didn't Nier also leave that talisman somewhere as well?
Yeah, the wing talisman, which I've actually picked up already. Now I gotta go through this laser corridor. Not a big fan of this.
Yeah, this looks annoying.
It's mostly just figuring out how to air control your jumps. Because it is actually pressure sensitive on like how hard you hit the controls, how high it pushes them.
Oh, we're back here already.
Yes. As I was saying earlier, it's like one of the reasons that people give this game a lot of flack, and rightfully so, is the fact that Dante's levels are mostly backtracking to Nero's stuff. Essentially, where Dante is going to end is where Nero began. So,
We're going back to church?
yes, actually.
Let us all go to church. Our Lady of Perpetual Exemption.
And yeah, a lot of people take issue with this game for that specific reason. And honestly, it is justified because, yeah, that does kind of suck, the fact that you have to sit there and backtrack through territory you just ran through.
You know what they say, recycling saves the planet.
Well, so part of the problem is actually this is a development issue.
Yeah.
This game did not have enough time in the cooker to do everything that they wanted to.
Yeah.
Once again, I believe this game was hit with a lot of time constraints that they had to deal with. I believe there's also sync, from what I remember. Like, this game didn't have like as much of a budget as it probably needed, and so this is part of why they ended up doing a lot of recycling with this. So I do believe we mentioned it in the earlier episodes. Nero was supposed to have a completely different character styling to him. Now, anyone who's wondering why am I coming back here, well, you actually don't need to. There is actually something that you have to go through here to get. Lady, I thought you just shoot him and just take care of it. Yeah, one of the other things that the game is very much criticized for, and also I would argue rightfully so, is that the enemy layouts are not... A lot of them are not designed for Dante.
God damn it, Dante.
There are a lot of enemies in this game that Dante doesn't really have the right tools to handle, per se.
You're saying you think they were designed more for, like, Nero?
Well, I think the whole idea of the game originally was going to be that they were just going to have Nero as the main guy, and then, I guess somewhere in the development line, they figured they had to put Dante in there somewhere.
I was like, the main character.
Well, I mean, maybe they'll just thought, okay, you need to put Dante in here somewhere.
Well, I mean, what they totally could have done was, if they had enough time to do it, because again, this game was rife with issues in development. Either mostly from the higher-ups in Capcom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because this was during that era where Capcom was starting to try and push for all their games to be a lot more Western, thinking, oh, that'll help us make the money. Which is how we ended up with certain games being the way that they are. Anyway, the reason why I came back up here is for this. This combat adjudicator is very much out of the way, but like I said, the time limit is actually pretty generous, so we got time to come over here and mess with this thing. And plus, this is only a B rank, so. Alright, so let's head back down, we head out of here.
I love how you say it's that generous, you can just do it. Because I guess you can't come back here once this time was over.
Not really. I'll still check on it.
Heck, it.
And yeah, like before with Nero, you can just skip out of that room. You don't actually have to deal with it if you don't want to. No, like this actually that's fine. It's still unfortunately get turned around in this game sometimes. And yeah, place goes kaboom once you walk out of there, so. If you don't remember that the adjudicator's there, you have to replay the mission and come back for it. Alright.
Now you must fight the boss.
Well, unfortunately Kratos not there, so. Or he's like for in that little boss area.
Back into the jungle.
Yeah, back into the jungle we go.
You order the sword, huh?
Yes. Are you
Boing.
familiar with them?
Sorry, religion and I don't mix.
Oh, we're
It's a
talking
small
about.
congregation that gathers in the castle town of Fortuna. I guess the only people who would have
And
heard
take
of
your
it are the
pick.
ones who take interest in this type of thing.
Hello, ladies. 1
Exactly.
minute.
Ooh.
So just how much do you know about Sparta?
Well, from what I can figure,
Yes,
there's a
what?
lot of confusion surrounding them.
The story goes that Sparta served as the feudal lord of the city long ago. The people who live there today take these legends as truth and worship them, just like a god.
They worship a demon as a god?
Peaceful worship can't be condemned, but the real problem is the order. Lately, they've been running amok, catching demons, and have even butted in on some of my jobs.
Maybe they're starting a zoo.
Not just demons. They've also been targeting devil arms, like the ones you have.
Okay, then, a museum.
Give me my
So
pizza back.
Well, what if their
What a
intentions are
fodder for
foul?
that.
And there's a diabolical plan behind these apparently random acts.
Well then, I'd have something to keep me occupied, and Trish! Things always gotta be complicated.
Yeah.
I guess you're wondering how exactly did they get their hands on Sparta, because they mentioned the Order of the Sword actually having that sword. That's how.
Yep.
Trish basically handed the damn thing to them.
God damn it.
But yeah, that is the beginning of our adventures with Dante and our incredibly long backtracking sequence. Like, this game probably is like has some of the most backtracking I've ever seen. Which
Do
is
you
kind
ever
of
get
sad.
that feeling of? Do you ever get that feeling of deja vu?
Oh, absolutely. Anyway, join us next time as we take Dante into the jungle and probably dance with a certain somebody. So, see you guys then.
Bye everyone, I'm sure it won't be anything bad. Bye.